Greetings from your queen of Ooga Booga, that is. Hi, I'm Sally Diane, and welcome to my channel. This is the Getting to Know Your Tarot series, part 3, and we're going to be looking at the suits and the court cards in the tarot. At this point in time, I hope you've looked at the first 2 lessons and that you've been drawing a card a day and doing some 3-card spreads just to kind of connect with your deck. And now we're going to talk about some of the things that I'm sure you're curious about. And we'll start out with the suits and the court cards. And you have 4 suits. You have the wands, the cups, the swords, and the pentacles. And so the wands are associated with fire, the cups are associated with water, the swords are associated with air, and the pentacles are associated with earth. And here's a little memory clue that I learned right off the bat. Wands are fire, and if you think about it, they're the only one of the 4 suits that you can actually set on fire. Then you look at cups. And cups are water, but if you look at all the other suits, cups are the only one that would hold water. The swords are air, and I know this is a bit of a reach, but if you think of a dagger, you would throw a dagger. You wouldn't throw a wand, you wouldn't throw a cup, and you wouldn't throw a coin, but you would throw a dagger. So swords are air. And finally, last but not least, you have the pentacles or the coins, and they're associated with earth. And you can kind of remember that because they will hold a handful of earth. You can put a handful of dirt on a disc. Again, it's a bit of a reach, but it's kind of one way to remember it. So we'll talk first about the wands, about these fiery cards. When you see wands, these are the sort of things that's the things that get your mind on fire. It's about innovation. It's about starting a new business, a new adventure, something that gets your blood pumping, that gets you wanting to get up in the morning. Wands are fairly fast suits. They're associated with fire. Your wand people can be your blondes or redheads. They tend to have gray or green or blue eyes, light-colored eyes. They are business people. They are pioneers. These are people that make things happen. And if you look at the court cards, and in the tarot, there are 4 court cards. And I know that a lot of you have used playing cards before, so you know that in the playing cards, you have the Jack, the Queen, and the King. Well, in the tarot, you have the Page, and the Page would be the youngest one, and it would represent an adolescent or a beginning of a situation associated with the whatever the suit is, in this case associated with wands. So this might be the idea of this might be somebody getting the idea of a new adventure or a new business or a new enterprise. Or it could just be a young person who has a bright eye towards the future. So then you go to the knight, and your knights are on the move. Your knights would be your younger people, especially younger men. They go forward with whatever the issue of the suit is. Your Knight of Wands is your fiery knight. He's the one that has the idea. He's grasped that wand and he's moving forward with it. It could indicate somebody who is like the Knight of Wands, or it could indicate you in a situation where you are like the Knight of Wands. Okay, then you move on to the Queen, and we all know about the Queens because we're familiar with playing cards. The Queen is, she's an Earth Mother. She's she's in control. She's a businesswoman. She is a fiery woman, but she's also a passionate woman. She's the only queen in this particular deck. She's a queen that sits with her legs apart. And you have the little black cat, which Edward Waite called the sinister aspect of Venus. Okay, and then you have your King of Wands. And your King of Wands is an established businessman. Your kings are authority figures, mature figures in the area of the suit. And in this particular suit, it is the King of Wands. So this would be your well-established businessman. This would be somebody who's had a career and is looking over what he has created. And now the cups. And cups are associated with water. They talk about the warm and fuzzies. They talk about love and friendship and family. They talk about things that are creative, things that touch our heart and inspire us. Well, yeah, touch our heart and inspire us. Your cup people will be brown to blonde. They'll be lighter complexion, but not as light as the Wands people. They're also, say, your water signs, your Cancer, your Pisces, and your Scorpios are all cups. And as far as the suit, the Page of Cups. Now, the Page of Cups is a student of the suit. If you see the Page of Cups, it's going to be a younger person who's creative, who might be a little bit of a silly heart. This is somebody who has a bright outlook on the future. So that would be your Page of Cups. It would also indicate a new venture in the area of love or relationship, or again, whatever feeds your heart. Then you have the Knight of Cups. And it's hard to see the Knight of Cups without smiling a little bit. He's actually associated with Sir Lancelot, your knight in shining armor. The Knight of Cups is he's a loving man. He is young and idealistic. And you see the horse he rides in on is riding slow and gracefully, and he has an offer of love. The Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is a lovely, loving, motherly woman. She can be, on the other side of her, she can be a little bit selfish. And that is a flaw of the Cups people. Sometimes they get involved in their own things so much that they don't really see other people's point of view. And finally, you have the King of Cups. And the King of Cups is the loving father. The one who will stand strong and stay grounded no matter what rocky seas are around him. So he can be the Rock of Gibraltar for a family or in a relationship or a business. But he is a loving man. So then we move on to swords. And swords, as I said before, are associated with air. They're associated, you think of the sword of truth. The swords can be electric. The swords can be very hurtful. A lot of times when you get swords in a reading, it's talking about a situation, a difficult situation. I always see the positive side of the swords as being this. If the swords are showing up, it means that the harm has already been done, and the person just needs to face up to the difficulty ahead and to heal and get beyond it. Sword people tend to be a little bit prickly, a little bit hard to reach. They are your difficult people. They are the people who can be the eye of the storm, if you will. Career-wise, they would be doctors as opposed to nurses. Nurse would be more of a cup kind of career. They're your doctors. They're your lawyers. Whereas a teacher, a grade school teacher would be a cup kind of profession. A college professor would be a sword kind of profession. The sword people are ones that don't tolerate lying, that cut right to the chase. On the downside, sword people can be brash and impatient and sometimes abusive. Swords are not are not an easy suit to deal with. But we go to the sword people, and first we have the Page of Swords. And in the Rider-Waite deck, there's almost a story with this, where the storm's just starting. You see the wind starting to pick up. And the Page of Swords is the young person who will look right into the eye of the storm and go right into it. You know, this is somebody who's just aching to learn things the hard way. Then you go to your Knight of Swords, and your Knight of Swords, he runs roughshod. You look at him in some of the tarot cards, not this particular one, but in some of them his visor's actually down because he doesn't necessarily see where he's going. He just knows he wants to go forward, and he wants to go forward fast. So the Knight of Swords indicates somebody who's coming and or going fast, or situations coming and or going fast. And you have the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Truth, if you will. In this card, she's got her right hand out, says you can approach me, but she's got the other hand that has a sword that says you better not lie to me. And in some tarot decks, the Queen of Swords actually holds a severed head. So the Queen of Swords is not the most likable queen. She can be harsh. She can be standoffish. And she can be unpredictable. Astrologically, she can be a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. That would be your sword astrological signs. Sword people tend to be a little on the dark side. Brunette hair, deep green or brown eyes. And then we already talked about sword sort of professions. And finally, you have the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is, he tends to be a bit of a silent Sam. He does what needs to be done. He's like I say, he's a doctor, he's a lawyer, he's a judge. He's somebody who has a skill set and a knowledge set that he uses to lead, but he doesn't necessarily share all his knowledge with everybody around him. And last but not least, and ironically so, the swords move so fast, and they're right next to the Pentacles. And the Pentacles are the slowest moving cards. If you're looking at time or even situations. Pentacles situations tend to be the kind of situations that take years to build, and, they're associated with Earth. Your Pentacle people will be your Virgos, your Capricorns, or your Taurus. They are they are your farmers. They're your healers. They're also, of course, pentacles, coins. They're good with money, so they're your bankers, your accountants. The King of Pentacles would be your country gentleman. They tend to be swarthy. They tend to be very thoughtful. They take their steps in very measured directions. So we'll start out with the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles, you can see that he holds that coin forward. It's an opportunity, and he considers it carefully. So that the Page of Pentacles is the youth that's probably mature beyond his or her years. Again, well-grounded, good with money, organized, patient, methodical. All these things apply to your Pentacle people. And you move on to the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles, or coins, I might use that word interchangeably because they're certainly used interchangeably in the tarot from one deck to another. Your Knight of Pentacles is the only knight that does not move at all. All four hoofs are straight into the ground. He rides a big heavy horse, a draft horse, and he is the country gentleman in the spring. If you look, you can see that he's overlooking a freshly plowed field. So this is somebody who has started out in life, who has a plan for the future, and who has done things to make that plan come so. The Queen of Pentacles, I always think of Mother Nature, because she's not only grounded, she's the most motherly of all the queens. She's the most fertile of all the queens. Animals love her and come to her. She's the woman with the green thumb, the great cook. She's Mother Nature. She wears a red robe, and the red robe talks about a lust for life. And underneath the red robe, she's got a white chemise, and the white stands for purity. So she has both of those in balance. And then finally, you have the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles is your country gentleman. He is somebody who has built a life for himself, brick at a time, for himself and his family. And he's highly protective of his family. You notice that in his robes, he's got all these grapes and what have you, which tells me that he has led a fertile life. And yet, underneath the robes, you can see that bit of a night showing through. So he has not forgotten his youth, and he has not forgotten who he is underneath the polished exterior. So those are your suits, and those are your court cards. Stay tuned for the next episode, where we will look at the numbers.